was not trying to become an activist. I live 6 minutes from Ferguson. Being a woman of color, our image is scrutinized. People in my district, this is how we look.
That was Cori Bush in the documentary Knocking Down the House, which followed multiple progressive women as they ran in the last midterm elections. And while only one, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, was successful in 2018, Cori Bush just kept knocking. And this time, Bush broke through, unseating a 10-term incumbent to win the Democratic primary, joining a record number of black women running for Congress in this election cycle and breaking the record set the last time Ms. Bush ran for Congress just 2 years ago. Joining me now is Cori Bush, the Democratic primary winner in Missouri's 1st District. Ms. Bush, you were an activist starting in the aftermath of the death of the killing by police of Michael Brown and the protests there in 2014. As you know, I was there for a lot of the rallies, did the eulogy at Michael Brown's funeral, so I took a particular notice of your race. How do you think that helped your campaign, and how do you plan to bring that experience to Congress?
Yeah, I think it helped my campaign. First of all, thanks for having me. But I think that it helped my campaign because people have seen the longevity. People have seen an active fighter, someone who started out doing this work and then continued, even when it was hard, even when people didn't like us, it was unpopular. We were being heavily surveilled. We lost some of our activists died. So much has happened, but I stayed in and I continue to fight because it was right. When Black lives are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back, And so I didn't run. I didn't, and some people had to. Some people felt that was their thing. But for me, my community, I could not allow somebody else in our community to be another hashtag without putting my feet, my mouth, and my hands to that work.
And you kept in there even after defeat in 2018, and now you've become victorious. You're a minister, and you probably personify grassroots organizing, if I've seen one of late. How do you think that might show others that want to pursue mixing protests with politics?
I'm all about being your authentic self, be you, so if you show up in the community, show up because that's the mission that you have, because then in that way, then you can carry it out in anything that you do. If I'm at the grocery store, I'm still an activist. And actually in this moment now, what I've realized, Reverend Sharpton, is I'm a politivist. I don't know if I'm coining that or not, but I'm a politivist. I'm a politician activist now. And so I plan to take that to Congress, and whether it's been done before or not, maybe we need a social justice caucus. We need to do some things that make activists feel like we're not terrorists in our own communities. We're just pushing forward, fighting because the fight is there. Let me say, we wouldn't be fighting if there was no fight. We could be at home, we could be at work, we could be opening businesses, we could be doing so many other things. But because there is a fight, we fight. And so we need something that's going to surround us and guide us and help us, because I'll tell you, and I know that you remember this, when Mike Brown was murdered, we didn't have a playbook. We didn't know what we were doing. We just took to the streets because we were hurt. We were angry. We wanted to see justice. We didn't know exactly how to do. People slammed us for not protesting right. But for us, it came out of our souls. And we've been able to carry that through. Even now, through the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor protests, we are still fighting the way that we know how, but we're organizing too.
And we are still fighting and still marching, but we have an elected activist, a politivist, as you just coined the phrase, in Washington in January. What do you hope to do? What do you bring to Washington that you think is unique to you bringing it there, given your experience?
I'm someone who I always say I am the people that I serve. Look, I've been a low wage worker for a long time, been uninsured, unhoused with 2 children. I'm a survivor of sexual assault, a survivor of domestic violence. I know what it's like even a year ago to have utility shutoffs. I know what it's like to be cold and have to heat my home with heaters and hope that we don't burn our home down. I hope nobody is doing that because it's bad. But I know what that's like, even it's been very recent. Even being a survivor of sexual assault, that's very recent. I went through all of the steps that I was told to go through, but there are so many holes in our system that if you have not gone through it, you don't know. My kid sat on a shelf for 4 months. If you don't know, if you haven't been there, you don't know. So I bring that voice of not only of going through things, of the experience, but also being vulnerable enough to speak about it, to bring about the change.
Now, the same day as your primary win, Missouri voted to expand Medicaid. That will allow hundreds of thousands of Missourians to opt into government health care during this pandemic. What steps are you looking forward to taking in Congress to expand access to all Americans?
Yeah, so I've been a very loud and proud advocate for Medicare for all. As a registered nurse, seeing my patients die because they don't have health care or they have the access but not the money. That shouldn't be on people. You breathe, you deserve health care. And so that's one thing that I'll be fighting for. I'm so glad that 53% of Missourians voted yes to expand Medicaid, but I believe that we can also do more. So I will be working with everyone else that's pushing Medicare for all and making sure we know what that is and what that'll do to our communities. But also, we need COVID-19 relief, and we need it now. So that $2,000 a month universal basic income that will be retroactive, that will last for 1 full year. We need that. We need to make sure that we continue on with the utility shutoffs and canceling rent. Those are the things that we need like right now, and I'm one to continue to push for that.
All right, Cori Bush, thank you so much for being with us this evening.